All right, welcome back to the Kiss FAQ, where we're investigating You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best, the compilation released in 1996 celebrating Kiss's Alive Worldwide tour with several vault tracks and, of course, your usual suspects from Alive and Alive 2. Next up in the series is one of the tracks that I was most looking forward to hearing, Two Timer, which on the box or on the compilation is attributed to Detroit. We didn't know whether that was the case or not back in 1996. We knew that clearly the vocals had been worked on. There's a different call outs, and we'll find out what the details are on that. But the whole purpose of this little exercise is using AI technology to create stems for these songs and compare them now that the actual recordings have been released in mixed form on box sets in 2025 for Alive and Dressed to Kill. So it's not the same as going to multi-track. It's second best. AI technology uses different algorithms, different math in order to separate out the frequencies for various instruments and components in a recording, and that's kind of presented here. The best ones to my ears that are used to illustrate the point of the differences between You Wanted the Best and what came before the real deal. Let's dig into the first multimedia section for Two Timer, which is the vocals.
She thinks she's official, thinks she looks fine. That's what I keep telling her. I tell her all the time. She tells me she likes fast cars, says she likes my own best. Just because of that, baby, you think she'd forget the rest. No.
All right, so first up here, for some odd reason, I decided to do the Kobo version first. So Kobo is on top, and Kobo will be first for these samples for the vocal section. Yeah, Gene sounds like Gene 75 there. Not yet a Cookie Monster, but certainly some roughness around the edge of his voice, which could be simply because they were on tour or simply because the AI algorithm wasn't quite perfect. Let's listen to 1996. We know what we're getting. We're getting a 1996 vocal recording from Gene. You can already see on the waveform comparison on the video that there's going to be additional lyrics or vocal added in here. But generally, the cadence is pretty similar. Phrasing cadence, timing, speed, and all that is pretty similar to the Kobo version, even though there are some slight differences in the difference of transfer speed between the recordings used in 1996 and those in 2025.
She thinks she's out fashion, thinks she looks fine. That's what I keep telling her. I tell her all the time. Oh, and she tells me she likes fast cars, says she likes mine the best. Just because of that, baby, you think she'd forget the rest? No.
Sorry, that's a great vocal. Something that I've really enjoyed in digging into these recordings is that you can hear them pretty clearly in my mind. They're not as perfect as a multi-track, but it's still nice to hear. Define. Slight pronunciation there with, obviously, Gene, like me, has a residual accent in him coming from speaking a different language entirely, is with you for life, as good as you may get with the command of the English or Americanized version of the language. So that's very cool. And again, that red highlight in the middle of that waveform is just an add-in, ad-lib, which is the case. So like Paul in 1996, Gene sounds really good there.
Just call me a three-time loser. That's all I'll ever be. 'Cause my baby's such a two-timer. You know she's two-timer. She's a two-timer me.
All right, so Paul joins for the chorus. You can hear him very clearly in 1975 at Detroit's Kobo Hall or Kobo Arena. Again, very nice to hear just how well the voices complemented one another back in the day as well.
Just call me a three-time loser. That's all I'll ever be. Oh, Oh, 'cause my baby's such a two-timer. You know she's two-timing. She's a two-timing me.
All right, so there we go. There's another call out added into the 96 vocal, and 20 years later, those guys still sounded great together. So nice bit of audio. I enjoyed the vocal there. But again, you already knew that. So what we really want to see is some of the multimedia around the drums and the guitars here to see if we get a match for Detroit and how well that match occurs. Drums are really fun to do stems of. There's a couple of different AI systems that I use that invariably one usually does a great job on drums and the other one doesn't. And then bass is usually flipped around for what's going to extract the cleanest. I'm not doing any post-processing on any of these stems either. Usually if I'm doing a faux remix on a demo or something, then I'll do a bit of scrubbing on the individual tracks in Audition, compression and EQ, again, to really enhance and change the dynamics a little bit more. But still, they're only glorified remasters and not real remixes, so I can adjust the levels slightly. Let's jump into some of the drums from Two Timer and the first appearance of Peter Criss in this series. All right, so now it flips over to first up is going to be the 192 HD tracks version of You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best of the high definition audio. And the second sample is going to be the remaster, or not the remaster, I guess in a way, the remix by Eddie Kramer from 2025 from the box set, The Kobo Show, the original, the raw material on which all of this is based. So this is the start of the song. Some great drum patterns there just to illustrate Peter Criss. And I think these separations probably lose a little bit of the high end, but judge for your ears. But just looking at the waveforms, it's a pretty damn solid match. Speed difference excluded, of course. All right, so that's Kobo. Nice snare sound to my ears. I highlighted a little red section that just sounded like a drumstick hitting the rim of the kit slightly, and I didn't hear it as much on the You Wanted the Best version. That's neither here nor there. That's just something that stood out to me. I probably should have highlighted it in green and not red for that one. Let's continue with some more of the drums. This again from You Wanted the Best. All right, so that's the ending section of Two Timer, just going into the final kind of cascade that Peter does, the crescendo to the song. Let's hear the Kobo version. So that all sounds really cool to me, but again, it looks like As with Alive, the drums are pretty foundational to the recordings, and not much had to be done with them other than EQing. Again, we don't know what was done in the studio in 1996 to touch those original multi-tracks when they were processed for use on the compilation, so it would still be interesting to know. So let's go into the guitars on Two Timer for a bit of Ace and Paul. And again, the channels appear to be flipped here. Up top, the first one that'll be played is from the You Wanted the Best compilation, and the second one will be from Kobo. Don't have much to say about that, really. Nice meat and potatoes, beefy sound. Let's move on to Kobo Hall. That solo, that one was You Wanted the Best version. It's big, it's meaty. Also at the beginning of the guitars, you could hear Ace's vibrato at the opening note. Some serious wrist action going there, but that's one of his signatures. So let's get the solo from Kobo and compare. All right, guitars, again, tone, signature 1975 Ace. They sound the same solo to me. Guitar players, love for you to chime in with your opinions there. But I think whatever's done on the You Wanted the Best version, there's definitely overdrive, boost, something being done to it that's leaving a little bit of a sparkly shimmer to those notes. Again, that could be the AI separation, just pixie dust being left on the recording as a result of that. But clearly, they're treating it in such a way to make it more contemporary sounding. And it's pretty clear, on tour, they sounded different. They sounded modern, even though they were basing the show off the 1977 Love Gun Alive 2 era. There was still the sonic signature that changed in terms of how the band sounded years and years later. So Two Timer is a good example of that. Clearly Kobo, clearly vocal re-recorded. But I think it sounds good. Now we've got the original. It's easier to look at You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best with different eyes for what it is and maybe what its intention was. I'm really thankful that we've got the Kobo show finally. That really was a great thing to finally be able to go back and do the comparisons. Tell me what you think about the drums, the guitars, the vocals for a two-timer in the comments. Oh, look, you're still here, watching or listening. We're not sponsored, monetized, or supervised. We're only in this for subs and likes and kicks. So why don't you mash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about today's episode.